More than 60% of retirees would not survive financially if Social Security were cut, which is why they will never, ever cut Social Security. It goes back and forth, wave my head like that. Look, I can make, look at, oh, Betsy's nodding. Hey, Betsy. So check this out. I could not agree more. There's a goat right there. Look at the legend. The goat crushing. This off from Investopedia. And I think my man Bob sent this to me. Bob S. Bob Shoemaker. It's not Shoemaker. A new nationwide survey found that 61% of adults that currently receive or expect to receive Social Security said they couldn't survive financially if they're forced to miss even half a monthly benefits payment. More than 80% of Americans are concerned about the long-term outlook of Social Security. Well, I'm concerned about the long-term outlook of Social Security. I'm concerned about the long-term outlook of America. I'm concerned about the long-term outlook of your old buddy Josh. Being concerned doesn't mean like, oh my goodness, the world's on fire. That'd be silly because it's just not. The world's crushing. Younger generations are particularly concerned about whether they receive the benefits when they are eligible. I get that. But this is kind of stupid right here. More than half of Social Security recipients say their current benefits don't cover their basic needs. So any reduction of those benefits would be a serious setback. Are you seeing how stupid this line of reasoning is? More than half of Social Security recipients said benefits don't cover their basic needs. Okay, that's not implying that they're relying solely on Social Security, obviously. If the benefits don't cover their basic needs, obviously they have other income to cover those needs. So any reduction would be a serious setback. No, I agree with the concept of it, but the idea that, because Social Security doesn't cover my basic needs, if they reduce it, my basic needs won't be covered. No, it just means you have to rely on other things for your basic needs. Just the media, I can't. They're just so bad, so bad. The future of Social Security is on shaky ground. Roughly 74 million people received Social Security benefits in July. All right, it's estimated that nearly 22 million retirees rely on the program's benefits as their only source of income. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at where they're getting this from, shall we? The Senior Citizens League. Oh man, these freaking clowns. Was it Nancy Altman? Is that the chick from the Senior Citizens League? How did they? The Senior Citizens League study estimates 22 million get by on Social Security alone. Well, that's interesting because that's absolutely not what Social Security themselves say. Isn't it interesting? Huh. In fact, Social Security themselves, among beneficiaries aged 65 and older, 12% of men and 15% of women rely on Social Security for more than 90% of their income. So the Senior Citizens League is saying a third of Social Security recipients get no other benefit, but that's absolutely not what Social Security says. Well, Social Security is lying. Actually, they used to lie. They used to say, it used to be much more. They used to say a third of the people 65 and older relied on Social Security for more than for not more than 9% of their benefit of their income. That's what they used to say. Interesting. So were they lying then or are they lying now? What? Who's lying? Who's lying? Well, Trump. Oh, okay. Now let's keep going here because this is silly. Of course, here we go. Less certainty requires more savings. Of course it does. And this guy says, if I were a younger person, I would approach retirement as if it wasn't going to be available to me, says Jason Fannin, a CFP. I don't think that'll be the case. I think we'll have Social Security, but it might look a bit different. I would not suggest relying on it for planning purposes. Well, that's just silly. That's just dumb. You're not going to rely on Social Security for planning purposes. So Jason, is that his name Jason? You want people to work until they're dead. Well, just save, Josh. Don't you know? Just save. It's okay. Yeah, easier said than done there, guy. It's kind of like the SNL skit. I've referenced this a couple times with Susie Orman. And the lady is like broke, living in the van down by the river. She calls in the Susie Orman show. And Susie says, well, just tap into your emergency fund. She goes, I don't have an emergency fund. She goes, well, just tap into your Roth IRA. She goes, I don't have a Roth IRA. It was so funny. This is silly. This is why they're never going to cut Social Security, because we do have a heavy reliance on Social Security. And it's part of the social contract. I just got over the phone with these people that are just legendary. And I said, look, man, even worst case scenario for both of them, they're living on, they got small pensions, but I think between them $1,000 a month, or I can't remember. But anyway, they're going to get like, in today's dollar, $70,000 a year on Social Security and their pension. I say worst case scenario, you run out of money, everything goes to crap. You basically bought everything on Enron stock, you leveraged, and you got no money, but you have a house that's paid for, you're living on $70,000 a year. Come on, you tell me you're not gonna be able to be okay. And I say the idea they're gonna cut Social Security when we have 80 million people on Social Security right now. I mean, what would be the devastation to the overall economy if you took a 20% to 25% pay cut for those 80 million people, never mind the people coming up, on top of all the tax they paid into it? You think that's going to fly? Ain't going to fly. They're not cutting Social Security. All right, God bless, smash, fondle. We'll see you.